Welcome back to Elevate from Burnout to Bliss, the podcast for professionals who are ready to reclaim their energy, reignite their purpose, and live a passion-fueled life. I'm Reggie.
And I'm Ebony. We are so excited about today's episode because we're diving into a topic that touches every area of our lives, our health. And not just our physical strength, but mental, emotional, and spiritual strength too.
That's right. Our special guest is someone who lives and breathes this philosophy, Coach Raheem Shabazz. He's not only a personal trainer, guys, he's my trainer, as well as to elite athletes and everyday individuals. He's also a powerful motivational speaker who's passionate about helping people elevate from the inside out.
Coach Shabazz has an incredible journey, one that took him from adversity to influence. Today, he's sharing his story, the mindset that drives him, and why your health could be the missing key to your next level.
We're also going to get his perspective on the rise of GLP-1 weight loss drugs and what people need to know before jumping on the latest health trend. You don't want to miss his insight.
So whether you're in the gym, in your car, or just taking a moment for yourselves, get ready to be inspired, challenged, and equipped to take control of your well-being.
Let's get into it. Here's our conversation with Coach Raheem Shabazz.
Let's do it.
All right, guys, so I can't tell y'all how excited I am today to have this guest in here with us. Man, y'all welcome Coach Raheem Shabazz to the Elevate podcast. I got to tell y'all, this is my frat brother. This is my trainer. And matter of fact, not just me. He trained my whole family.
Right.
Yeah, so we've been getting it in, man. It's just been a great relationship.
Kids and all.
Kids and all, I'm telling you. But before we dive deeper into it, team, let's start with, take us back to your early years, and can you just kind of share with our listeners some of the experience that shaped you into the person you are today?
Absolutely. The youngest of 9 total siblings.
Wow.
Okay.
4 on dad's side, 6 on my mom's side, and born in Cleveland, Ohio.
Woo-hoo.
Rough times up there. Cleveland,
Okay.
Yep. Definitely a Buckeye.
Cleveland rocks.
That Cleveland does rock. Man, the Cavs, Lord have mercy. Do you see what they're doing in the playoffs? Okay, don't worry about it. I'll tell you. They're the number 1 seed in the East. They are probably about to sweep the Miami Heat and move on to the next round. They just went up 2-0 last night.
Okay.
So I'm watching
Yay.
close. But I would say the majority of my family is still there. Aunts, uncles, my dad is still there. Now, my mom remarried when I was 5. My stepdad, who I call Pops, moved us to Chattanooga when we were about 5-6 years old.
I knew it was a Chattanooga connection there. Okay.
Yep. Grew up there from, I would say, 87 all the way up through high school. High school played every sport. Played every sport growing up at the rec center. Then high school played 3 different varsity sports. Went to Ohio State, played college football there.
I didn't know you played for Ohio State. The
Ohio
Ohio State.
Yep, that's right. The Ohio State University. 2002, 2003 season, and we won a national championship. My last year of college football was at UT Chat. Did a year there. My brother, right above me, played 4 years of varsity basketball there. My family, for the most part, man, full of athletes, loaded with athletes. Growing up, being at the bottom of the totem pole, you never really prove yourself.
Okay.
You're always the runt of the litter, or you're always, overlooked, or fighting for your own respect, or fighting to make your own name, your own place. You got your older cousins who are the OGs. They're the ones, they're shining in the family and this and that. And so me looking up to them, I just wanted to, I think I developed that type of underdog work ethic very, very young. And I know I did because first, the respect that I had for my older brothers. My brother right above me was all-state basketball as a freshman, sophomore, junior, and senior.
Oh, wow.
And so me coming underneath him, it wasn't necessarily pressure, but I would say my desire to want to not only play with him, but, basketball was the love, you know what I mean? But I had no idea that as I was working to be a better basketball player, I developed speed on the track. I developed crazy quickness and explosiveness on the football field that I didn't even know was there. So basketball turned into a love for football and track. And my junior year, my best friend was a senior. He was my quarterback. We exploded. My first year ever playing football, ran track, and that was great. Made to the state track meet. And so just being a competitor and being an athlete was always in my blood, and then just being a grinder, trying to work from nothing, earn my respect, earn my place. That all started very, 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 very young. So grew up there, finished college. Well, finished that stage of college. Met a girl in Chattanooga. We had a son. We split up. She moved back to Memphis. I lived in Chattanooga. Around the time he was maybe close to 2 years old. We were splitting time with him there. And I dropped everything, just moved to Memphis.
Okay, that's what got you to Memphis.
That's what got me here. So that's around 2006 now. I get on my feet. I'm scratching, I'm clawing, I'm just saving my money. I'm still playing professional football, playing arena football, driving back and forth from Memphis to Tupelo, Mississippi every day, going to practice, games on Saturdays. Around that same time, maybe I'll say about a year and a half later, get into a car accident. Accident.
Okay.
So I'm saying air quotes because I did not know where that accident was about to lead.
Come on.
I was going to visit a family who took me and my son in. A little dude hit me head on. A police officer pulls up to the scene. She gets her pretty ass out of the car.
All right, now.
And now my son is about 3 at this time, so we make it. We're about 2 houses down from where we were, so I'm waiting on the police officer to show up. He's down there playing football with the kids and stuff. Police officer shows up. She gets out the car. My son rolls up. Daddy, you okay? I'm like, yeah, but I'm all right. And I asked him, I said, you okay? He's like, yep. And the officer says to him, oh my God, he is so handsome. He looked just like his daddy. I was like,
Yeah, it is.
so the officer who came to the scene, we have a conversation for about 2.5 hours at the scene.
Oh,
Okay.
wow.
And I asked her for a phone number. She said no.
Okay.
And then I asked her if I could give her my phone number. She said yes. She took my number. She called me that night. 11 months later, we were married.
Oh, wow.
Come on, man. And that's the accident.
Yep, that was the accident.
Yeah.
And this July 12th will be our 18th year of marriage.
Oh,
That's
wow.
beautiful.
Yep.
Beautiful.
No, I'm sorry.
Awesome.
I'm sorry. 17th year.
17
18 years together, 17 years married. So,
Wow.
yeah.
Man,
That's
you just never
awesome.
know what life's going to take
Man,
you,
I'm telling you.
Never know.
Man, didn't have a clue. And what makes it even better, obviously, in marriage, we grow together, we learn each other. You go through your ups, you go through your downs. She was actually the one who planted the seed for me to even start my career.
Really?
Because, she had just got out of, I think she got out of the police academy maybe 2003. And we met 2007. She was very, very active. I'm active. I'm still playing football. She's just working to stay in shape, so we would go and work out together. And she would notice people stopping and watching and writing notes about what I was doing while I'm training and asking questions and stuff. So we get into a stupid argument one day, and she gets up, gets in her car, pulls off, comes back maybe not even a half hour later. And she says to me, she said, babe, let's go for a ride. I'm like, no, I don't want to go for a ride. Still mad.
Still, man.
Still bad.
Stupid. So we get in the car. We go to this park, Burt Ferguson Community Center. I'll never forget it. And it's not even a mile from our house. And we pull up over there, and there was a little girl, maybe early 20s, had an agility ladder, had about 2 or 3 cones out, had 2 young girls with her. They're kicking a soccer ball around. My wife looked at them. She said, dog, that's your future right there.
Wow. She saw it.
She saw it. She saw it. I didn't have a clue. And she planted that seed. And I'm like, now at this point, we're still very early in our relationship, but I trust her with my life. And she's easily one of the most intelligent women I've ever known.
That's all right.
And so I trusted her, and I trusted her decisions. And I'm like, okay, where are you going with it? So instantly when she gave me an idea like that, I'm like, all right, well, where could this go? And it got to be good, or you wouldn't even say it.
Right.
Because she's very analytical, very thoughtful, and not only is she a police officer, but she's an accountant.
Okay.
So she has numbers, thinker.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Analytical. That's every day. So you come to me with an idea like that, I'm like, okay, you own to something. So
She's already worked the rest of the idea
she
out.
already had it right.
She just hadn't told you.
She hadn't told me. So I was, and at the time I was working a job I hated. I'm sitting. I'm an athlete, so I'm sitting in the cubicle all day. About to lose it. Like, bro, come on, man. I'm bored out of my mind. What am I doing here? This is not what I'm supposed to be doing. So when she came with that, I'm like, okay, cool. Let's dig into this. So initially, my very first certification, we did the research. It was $600. It was a 3-day course. You finish, you certified. But at the time, $600 was a lot.
Right.
And I'm like, well, baby, I don't want to put no strain on us because that's a lot of money for certifications. And again, my wife being a thinker, she said, look, we put up this $600. You're gonna get that back within your first 3 clients. And how right she was, because I didn't even realize that there were people that I already knew that were like, you about to be a trainer? I want to train with you.
Right off the bat.
So they're already ready to start.
Right.
So now I'm starting to transition from, FedEx in the Revenue Services Department to training full time.
Yeah.
So I would leave FedEx, go to this field, and train a couple clients. And that's where it started. And that was March 2011.
2011.
Oh,
Been
wow.
rolling ever since.
Man.
Man.
And now she did. My wife will admit. She said to me one day. She said, "Dude, I gave you the idea, but I had no idea that it was gonna go this far."
Wow.
I'm like, well, look, I trusted you enough, but I was gonna take it and run with it. We were gonna make it do what it do. So it did what it do.
Man.
Currently, so. And it's still going very, very well. So
I got a question for you. I listened to, when you gave your background, all the different sports that you were involved in at an early age. What are your thoughts on today? I see parents basically having their kids commit to one sport so early in their life. Like right out, 6 years old, you're going to be a basketball. And that's the only training you're getting. As opposed to, we played whatever sport was on TV. That's how we did. What are your thoughts? Whatever was on TV, that's the one we
my thoughts
played.
are the same as a lot of college coaches. You let them play as many sports as they can.
Okay.
Because you're going to become a well-rounded athlete. Then you're going to become a competitor.
Right.
And you're not going to become so burnt out in one sport very early that you start to resent not only the sport, but the people who made you do it, the trainers that made you do it.
Yeah.
So when you do it that early and you focus that much, for the most part, it doesn't become fun anymore. Now it's almost like a job.
Right.
And we don't have the comprehension to wrap our minds around the ins and outs of a job at a 6, 7, 8-year-old, or even a 12 or 13-year-old.
Right.
It becomes so monotonous and it becomes so overly structured that it's not fun. You know what I mean? I become a robot, and then I become tired of it, and then not only if I'm getting good quality training, I don't appreciate it because this is what I'm always doing. I got to get up and train. I got to do this and that. It's not fun. You know what I mean? So when you have the ability to do so many sports, and like I told my son this, my baby girl this, I tell her, do whatever you like. Do what you like. Let's find out what you like. Try everything. You know what I mean? And then once we get to the stage where it really starts to count, now you will start to gravitate towards one. And once you pick that one, we're gonna go all in on it. But too early, it increases the likelihood of burnout.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So no, I'm definitely like all of us when we were growing up. My brother, myself, my oldest, we would leave school, do our homework, go to the rec center. And whatever season it was, we played.
That's what you played.
Tennis, horseshoes, softball. We didn't care. Sport, but we there.
Count us in.
Yes, I mean. Because in my pops, he loved that because we stayed out the streets, we stayed active. You know what I mean? We made a whole bunch of friends. We weren't in no trouble or anything, but it kept us busy. It made us rounded, and I think being able to compete in so many different sports is going to be the thing that really kind of builds that competitive drive, that competitive fire, as opposed to just being locked in on just one.
That makes
I
a lot
think
of
for
sense.
some parents, they're looking at their return on investment because things are so expensive and things are so extra, and you can't just play at school. You have to play travel, and then we have to go here, and you have to have this bat, or you have to have these cleats. So they're looking at, okay, if I make you go all in, then maybe in the future I can get a return on all of this time and all of this money that I spent. But it's not beneficial for the kids.
It's not beneficial for the kid at all. Because they can't wrap their mind around that. Right. They can't make the decisions, and then they can't even relate to that way of thinking.
Right.
We're thinking, man, I got to spend all this money to travel. I got to go to Boca Raton, and the following weekend I got to go to Miami, and the following weekend I got to go to Austin. And the kid are like, we going to Boca Raton or what?
Right.
To go to Austin to what? You have no clue where this money coming from to go to Boca, to go to Austin, to go to New York.
That's exactly
you have no clue.
And they probably don't care whether they playing in Boca Raton or Brownsville.
They just want to play.
They just want to play.
They don't care.
Go up the road. I don't care.
Absolutely. So let me ask you this, and we got about 2 minutes left in this segment, so I don't know if we'll have to carry this over.
Okay.
At what point did you realize your passion for training extended beyond that, and you wanted to go into the motivational part? You said, okay, there's more here than just helping people get in better shape.
Yeah, so what was I doing? I was at the gym one day, and when I work out myself, I'm either listening to gospel or motivational speaking in the background.
Okay.
And I got to thinking to myself, I do this every day anyway. Mm-hmm. Every time I talk to a team, every time I finish with a team and give them the real perspective on why we're doing this, to keep them locked in and to keep them engaged. Every time I talk to a group of adults, it's the exact same thing. A lot of times we could take for granted while we're doing it, but it's my job to make sure that everybody really understands the true meaning and motivation behind why we do it. Mm-hmm. And when I noticed myself doing that over and over and over and over again, and I've been doing it for years, and it didn't seem like, it wasn't necessarily about the money. Mm-hmm. It was more so about me getting this way of thinking to as many people as I could.
Right.
Not only just athletes, but anybody.
Yeah.
Because the world is so pessimistic.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And we drive ourselves towards negative. Social media, the clicks and the likes come from drama.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
We want to see mess.
Yeah.
And then the thinking process, we're in Memphis. We've heard crab in a barrel mentality for so long. If somebody trying to get out, somebody got pulled down. Why not flip that mindset? If somebody is trying to do something great, why not encourage them to do even greater?
There it is.
Why not remind how many people as I can that the Spirit of God that's in us is all about abundance.
Yes,
and about doing something positive and uplifting as opposed to wanting to tear down all the time.
Right.
And when I noticed that it was so much of the negative, I'm like, hey man, there's no way in the world that I could have this thinking and not want to share it. And then I heard one quote that said, it's not a testimony unless you give it.
That is absolutely great. Well, guys, y'all stay with us. We will be right back after this segment, and we're going to continue this conversation with Coach Shabazz. It's time to elevate.
Today's episode is sponsored by P3 Financial Group, where we enrich the lives of our clients by helping them plan, protect, and prosper. Call P3 for all your tax and financial planning needs at 901-209-4015. That's 901-209-4015.
So, Coach Shabazz, let's pick up the conversation talking about testimonies.
A testimony is not a testimony unless you share it. And what I wanted to make sure that I did was if I was able to bounce back from the hell, the nightmares, and become a history maker and to help change somebody else's life, then I'm not the only one.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So it got to be somebody else. And not only is there somebody else needs to know that there's somebody else.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So the mere fact that when somebody hears that somebody else has gone through the same thing that they're currently going through and came out of it, that gives them hope that they can too.
Yes, absolutely.
And what I found was that it's more people that's holding that story back and holding those traumas back and like, well, don't nobody understand.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I don't want to talk to nobody. But I'm like, no, we're not going to do that because now you're doing yourself a disservice and you're doing the ones around you a disservice. Mm-hmm. So it started with just wanting to encourage somebody. Mm-hmm. And then it just started with just honestly just wanting to change the world, to be perfectly honest, because it's so much chaos and hell and negativity. Right. And I'm like, no, bro, we need some light.
Yes. Right.
And people need to know that there's light in here, that is light in you, and it could be shared. And as fast as it is to spread negativity, it can be just as fast and just as effective to say something positive. So that's where that motivation really came from. And when I'll make this real quick and tell you the very first official motivational speech that I gave, I called my friend up, Penny Hardaway. I said, hey, bro, I'm thinking about transitioning from training into speaking. and I really would love for you and your team to be the very first speech that I give.
Okay, Coach Penny.
Okay.
Like, bruh, come on, when you want to come?
Yeah.
And it was the day, bro. It was 2 seasons ago. The day before, 3 seasons ago. It was November 22. Yeah. And it was the day right before they went to their first game. They had to travel to Nashville to play against Vanderbilt. Mm-hmm. Let me come in, talk to the boys, talk to the entire coaching staff. It was great.
That's all
cool.
right, man.
That is good.
So that's where it started.
That is absolutely great.
So obviously he works with us, but I want to know what made you want to work with both professional athletes and non-athletes?
Okay, so my goal at first was athletes.
Okay.
Because initially when I started, my whole mindset was, I have all this information, I have all this knowledge, I have all this experience, and I don't see anybody giving it to kids. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Typically, the ideology was you're either fast or you're not. Either jump high or you can't, and you can't get that. But me knowing that the bridge between going from one level to the next, a big part of it is how strong you are, how fast you are, how quick you are. Can you compete with older guys? Can you physically hang enough? You know what I mean?
Right.
So me knowing that I had the tools to give that, that's what I wanted to attack first. But monetarily and business-wise, who's going to pay for these children to come train? Mm. So who I got to train first? The adults.
The adults. Okay.
So when my wife gave me the idea to even start training, my first instinct was the athlete. But then I had to understand that I got to get in the door first. I got to get started first. I got to build clientele first. Okay, so I got my first certification, and I went to the first place that she actually told me to go was the Memphis Jewish Community Center.
Okay.
Because I went to Lifetime Fitness, and if I had told y'all the story about what happened to me at Lifetime, Lord Jesus. Went to Lifetime Fitness. I went to the Germantown Athletic Club. I went to the YMCA. Man, I was all over the place just passing out my resumes because I'm so excited now. I can train. Yeah, y'all got to hire me, right? No. so I'm like, okay, I'm certified, so this should be no problem.
Like,
no.
I don't get it. I don't understand what's
I don't know what's going on here.
Yeah.
So I go to the Memphis Jewish Community Center after, I'm like, my head, oh, no, I'm sorry. My head is hanging, and I'm like, babe, I don't know what's going on. She's like, well, try this place. I'm like, all right, cool. So I go over there, and I asked specifically for the manager of personal training. Nicest lady. I'll never forget her name is Lauren Carr, her husband Austin Carr. They both worked at the JCC. Okay. Great people. Love them to this day. So she was nice enough to say this. She said, well, we don't have any openings for trainers right now, but what I'll let you do based off what you want to do, put on a free clinic for athletes. And I'm like, okay, so I'll do this. And one day it'll be speed. One day it'll be agility. And literally, the first day, 2 kids showed up. The second day, 3 kids showed up. So I'm looking at numbers like, oh, this sucked.
Right.
But that's progress.
But it's progress. Not only was it progress, both of them 2 kids went and told their mamas, man, we just went to this camp. Oh, my God, it was incredible.
Oh, wow.
And they were both on the Maccabi soccer team at the Jewish Community Center. Every 2 years, the Jewish community does what's called the International Maccabi Games.
Okay.
They travel around the world. Jewish communities from all over the world, they go compete in multiple sports. And this particular year, the games were in Israel. 2 of the kids that were on the soccer team that was about to travel to Israel came to my camp.
Okay.
They loved it. They go tell their parents, we need this. Our team needs this.
Man, come on now.
Then they go tell their, and then their parents are like, well, does he train adults too?
Yeah.
I don't know. Let's find out. They come back the next day. So the first day was speed. The next day was agility. So after we do agility, change direction, fast feet, now they're really in because they're soccer players.
Right.
They're like quickness feet. We need this. So now they're just, and I'm thinking it sucked because only 3 kids showed up. But I don't know the conversation that they've had. So they go tell their parents, and I get a call the next day. Coach Shabazz, oh my God, the camp was a hit. Can you be here tomorrow? I'm like, it was a hit. It was only 3 kids there. So I go back to the JCC. The same parents, the same kids that were there. Now, Lauren Carr of the couple, she was over the personal trainers. Austin Carr was the athletic director over the facility, the husband and wife. The athletic director is the guy who organizes the travel, organizes all of the sports for the Maccabi games.
Okay.
And he's the soccer coach of these two kids that are about to travel to Israel. His first idea was train a soccer team.
Right.
Cool. So my first team that I trained was them. Lauren's idea was, okay, two of their parents, they could be your first clients.
Okay.
She talks to them, they signed up, now we off and running. We got
Okay.
2 new clients and a
And a
team,
team.
and we ready. You know,
right.
now we off.
Yeah.
So I trained the team, and I'm just taking them through what I think is just basic footwork, basic change of direction, basic speed and exploding and stuff. Man, these kids go to Israel. The very first game, I get a phone call at 12:30 a.m. And this man is like, boy, what did you do to these kids? They are running this tournament. I'm like,
Man.
in the second half, they fast and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, really?
Wow.
So the next game, they call me, man, oh my God, Coach Shabazz, they looking great. Hold on, they killing. They do. For the first time in history, they went over there and they won a gold medal.
Oh,
Come on,
wow.
man.
They
Come on.
just blew everybody out of the tournament. And they my very first award as a strength coach was a gold medal from the International Maccabi
Man,
Games. It's
that's
hanging in
nice.
the gym now. It's hanging in the gym. So with the athletes, I didn't, and even then, I still didn't. It didn't hit me yet, but it's starting to. Now I'm like, okay, I might be on something. So the kids told their friends, and the parents that I'm starting to train now, you know, they're starting to lose weight. So what do? The Jewish community is small, and they all very close knit.
Right.
What are they gonna do? They're gonna talk.
Right. Right.
Oh my God, this guy helped me lose this weight. He did what? And I'm a new trainer. And I look the part.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
right,
saying? So
right.
I'm in there, I'm the new guy, I'm in shape, I'm helping your kids, and I'm helping you. So it spread like wildfire. So the assistant executive director of the JCC, her name was Betsy Lynch. Her husband was Spencer Lynch, okay? Spencer Lynch is the associate athletic director at Lausanne.
Okay.
Word gets
Okay.
back to Betsy. Oh my God, who's this guy who trained the soccer team? Spencer's a soccer nut. Loves soccer. He's the soccer coach at Lausanne.
Okay.
Spencer has a girl who just committed to go to Birmingham Southern. Coach Shabazz, I can train her for soccer. Can you get her faster? Absolutely, I can. So now she's my first individual client. That came from Spencer, who's at Lausanne. About a month later, she goes to a workout with Spencer. Holy crap, you were never this fast. What did this man do to you?
Yeah.
The associate athletic now tells the athletic director. The athletic director is the assistant basketball coach. The assistant basketball coach and the head basketball coach are very cool, and the head basketball coach is from Chattanooga.
Oh wow.
Oh, wow.
So he knew my older brother, he knew me, but they were a few years older than me though. But he knew me. So Spencer says, hey man, this kid did this guy did this soccer team, he did this with this kid. I bet you he could come here and train our athletes. Whoever was training their athletes had just resigned. So they bring me in for an interview, hire me that day. My very first assignment was the boys basketball team. And I'm thinking, once again, I'm just basic stuff.
Right.
We get the season starts, and I'm listening for certain things, and the whispers that I'm hearing in the crowd is, man, they look like a college team. And them boys look swole.
Yeah.
Man, how they jumping so high? How are all of them jumping so high? It's all of them. So now I'm like, all right. And then not only that, but they run through the regular season, and they go and win the state championship. And the head basketball coach tells the athletic director, he said, look, man, y'all better give Coach Shabazz a ring first.
Man.
We do not win no state championship without him and this training. And after that, it became, it went from boys basketball to boys lacrosse to girls soccer to boys soccer. The boys lacrosse team made it to the state championship game, first time in school history, but they lost by 1. The girls soccer team, they made crazy improvement. The boys soccer team won state. So, and at that point, everybody's asking the question, what happened to these kids?
Right.
Why are they so fast? And they only had one answer. They was like, so for some reason, and somehow, and again, I wasn't doing it for attention, for notoriety. I had no idea how far I was going to go, but I also didn't have any idea how far the reach would go based on where I was.
Right.
I didn't realize that the Jewish Community Center was tied directly into the Memphis Tigers and the Memphis Grizzlies. Had no idea that. I didn't even realize the impact I was having at Lausanne and where I was. I didn't know that everybody was paying $27,000 a year to go to Lausanne. Mm-hmm. I didn't realize that Tony Allen's daughter was there. Mm-hmm. I didn't realize that, Zebo lives down the street.
Right.
And he's hearing about some guy, and now he's even talking about, hey, man, I need to go work out with Shabazz. Like, well, come on.
Right.
You know what I mean? But then word gets to Hamilton High School. Over at Hamilton High School at the time, there were two gigantic boys, Diedrich and KJ Lawson. Mm-hmm. Their dad was their head coach. Mom was, basketball fanatic too, former women's basketball player, and highly touted recruits within the city, within the country. But they were not athletic at all. One was 6'7", one was 6'9". They were ridiculously skilled. Fearless jokers. I mean, just incredible basketball kids. And the first time I saw them play, I didn't care about what they were doing skill-wise. I'm like, they're stiff, and they can't move. Mm-hmm. And that was the knock on them ever since they really started to gain all this notoriety and publicity for being so good basketball, because they were in the AAU circuit. They played for Team Penny. Okay. They traveled the country. Mm-hmm. These kids are incredible, but they're not athletic.
Got it.
So I reach out to Dad. Mm-hmm. And talk about a full circle, Mom. I'm trying to cover this very, very quickly.
Go ahead.
I didn't realize Eric Brent knew Keelan Lawson. Okay.
And that's the dad.
Keelan Lawson is the dad.
Okay.
Eric Brent is obviously our fraternity brother. Mm-hmm. Didn't realize that he knew them and that he was actually training them himself at first. I believe somehow the conversation came up between Keelan and Brent. Brent says to him, hey, man, I can train the boys, but for what they need Shabazz. This is before me and Brent ever met.
Yeah.
We never had a conversation. And I had no idea how he even knew me. I didn't even know that conversation took place until October of last year.
Wow.
Man.
And this happened October of 2013.
Come on.
Oh, wow.
So Keelan finally called me back. Hey, man, love you. Come beat the boys, train the boys. They looking at me like, who's this dude? He ain't going to train us. We train with our daddy, blah, blah. And the reputation with these kids were incredibly difficult. Okay? I didn't care. I'm like, no, y'all need this. I don't care. You don't scare me. You're a child. Whatever. Right. You know what I'm saying? Well, whatever. So none of that, all that intimidation crap to me was just cute. I'm like, oh, dude, I will body you right now. No, come on, man. Don't play with me. And they picked up on that, too, like, very quickly. Like, they had a reputation for being somewhat disrespectful. But the thing was, they were incredibly intelligent. They weren't disrespectful at all, but they didn't, it could come across, and I'll speak for them because they're like family to this point. And I had to learn this. They called BS BS.
Gotcha.
And they were so smart that it came to the detriment, because once they speak their minds, now you're a little jerk because you just spoke your mind.
Right.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So they would try that with me. I'm like, boy, you have no idea who you're talking to. Or what are you talking about?
Right.
But they were so intelligent, you couldn't just say that. You could, because they had trainers before, didn't work, and they thought I was gonna be another guy that just came along, didn't work. You know what I mean? But when the stuff started to work, not only are you in love with what we're doing, now you're in love with me.
Man, this is great. Let's take a quick break and we'll pick up this story as soon as we come back. It's time to elevate. Hey, Elevate fam. Are you a business or brand looking to get in front of an audience that's all about leveling up in life, business, and mindset? Then let's partner up. The Elevate podcast is now accepting sponsors. And we're back. Welcome back to the Elevate podcast, from Burnout to Bliss. Today we are talking to Coach Raheem Shabazz about elevating our life through health. Before the break, Shabazz, you were telling us about two young men that you used to train. Tell us what happened next.
Right.
So now you trust me. Now you're like, man, that's our guy. So we go through 6-7 months of this intense training, changing their bodies, getting them more mobile. It was noticeable on the basketball court. They go to their first AAU practice of the season. And their AAU coach, again, is Penny Hardaway. Penny looks at them at their first practice like, man, what the heck have y'all been doing?
Yeah.
Because it's jumping off the chart off the screen out at them now, because now they're like way quicker, they're stride longer, they're light on the feet. So Penny had his assistant to call me. Hey man, Coach Hardaway saw the boys. What the heck have you been doing with them? Blah blah blah. He want to talk with you, and it kind of went from there. The whole time I knew that I wanted to train athletes.
Yeah.
But I did not know where it was going to go. I didn't. I did not. But the thing was that the quality of work was so good, and I think people who had been at the highest level of athletics and sport knew that this was necessary.
Right.
Scal Labissiere was another one. He was 6'11", 170 pounds. A assistant coach from the University of Memphis called me, told me about him. Hey, man, this kid needs you. He needs your help. Been working with trainers, can't gain weight, can't get bigger, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, cool. Wound up finishing his high school career as the #1 player in America.
Oh, wow.
Went to University of Kentucky, played a year, get drafted by the Phoenix Suns. So, and my bad, let me go back to that Lausanne team. Our point guard was Cameron Payne.
Okay.
And this boy, every offseason, he went to Murray State. Every offseason, he'd come home and train with me. But before he went to the draft, came home and trained with me. Went first round lottery to the Oklahoma City Thunder. You know what I mean? So the momentum to this point is building.
Right.
And now word around the city is that this guy at Lausanne is the best trainer around. And Sean Taggart calls me, and Willie Kemp calls me, and Joe Jackson calls me, and Chris Crawford called me, and all of these guys are getting ready. They're leaving University of Memphis. Let's go. We're going overseas. We need to train with Coach Shabazz so we can get ready to go. And Mo Miller and just all of these guys are just hitting me out of nowhere. So I think, but the goal was really the athlete. It was never mom and dads and the individual. It never was.
That was just
I hated training adults. I hated it. Because I wasn't that dude that you ain't about to come talking to me in kind of way.
Right.
You know what I mean? We're here to work out. You need my help. Don't be telling me what you ain't gonna do. We're not doing that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I see the trainer and the client dynamic, and the trainer telling him to do something. I ain't doing that blah blah blah, and we fussing. And man, I'm not about to fuss with you in the middle of the gym. I don't like that kind of attention. No way. And then I love what I do, and you're not gonna make me hate it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So. I will put somebody out in a heartbeat. If you look, and I don't want to get off the subject, but the whole point is the goal was the athlete. But I knew what I could do for the general public.
Yeah. So
a lot of the stuff I felt like I had to deal with, so I did. But at the same time, I'm like, hey man, no, you need this. And I would say again, when it came to the general public, the one thing that really flipped that switch too was my own family.
Okay.
Looking around my own family, looking at diabetes, looking at high blood pressure, all the smokers, all the weed smokers, all the alcohol. I'm like, yo, come on, man, we can stop all of this. We can fix it. Didn't know how hard it would be because once you embedded in a certain lifestyle for so long, that's just what it is.
Right.
And the weird one comes along, and the odd one comes along. Like, hey man. Let's start. Let's work out a little bit. Let's get some shit. Ain't nobody finna do that. Man, nobody want to eat all that healthy stuff, and ain't nobody blah. And so I'm thinking to myself, like, why would you not want to? And me knowing what I know, I'm like, bro, you're killing yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm looking at it from an extreme perspective because to me, it's that serious. And knowing that I can help is what drove me to want to train the general public now. Now I'm looking at my sisters, I'm looking at my cousins, I'm like, I'm going to take this lady and I'm going to treat them exactly how I would treat my mom or my sister who don't want to work out. You're here. Let's do it. You know what I'm saying? And I see where it can go. And I see what it takes to prevent where it could go. And then I understood even the trainer-client dynamic in terms of strangers buying in more so than the ones that's closest to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, meaning that if my sister, my niece, my cousin is 400 pounds, and Raheem goes to them saying, hey, man, we can do this. Man, Raheem, man, come on, man. You don't know nothing. Man, you just Raheem.
Right.
But a client who reaches out to me who said, I need to lose this weight, brother. I saw what you've been doing, and I think you can help me, and I will listen to whatever you say. And then they do it. This is a stranger. You know what I'm saying? And I'm talking about, I would take it so personal. I'm like, family.
Right.
Bro, what we doing?
I'm right here.
Y'all know me. I'm right here.
Yeah.
And a stranger is going to go, brother, I will listen to whatever you say. And I don't know you.
And pay whatever.
Oh, Lord, that's a whole other conversation within itself. But, oh, man, so it was, training the general public was really motivated by me wanting to help my own family and not being able to do it. And the energy that I would put into them is what I put into the general public.
Got it.
And I think that's also a reason, too. Matter of fact, I don't think I know. That's a big reason why I know I take it so personal if a client decides to leave. Because I'm like, bruh, look at what we've accomplished.
Right,
Yeah.
right,
You done lost 90 pounds.
right,
You mean you want to do what?
right.
Did you forget?
Right.
And not only that, I know where they came from, and I know what the likelihood of them going back to if we stop doing what we're doing.
Right.
So
you really invested.
oh, God. Oh, man, listen.
Yeah.
If I'm willing to get up at 4:30 in the morning, and I don't have to, I'm all in. And y'all, it's like my clients don't leave after they're gone from that workout. You know what I mean? You text me throughout the day, do I need to eat this? Absolutely not.
Right.
Absolutely do. You know what I'm saying? Coach Shabazz, I might need to tweak my meal plan a little bit. Or I'll even reach out. Hey, man, I was thinking about this. What do you think about this? You know what I'm saying? How you doing
Right.
with this? Let's tweak this. And they're like, okay, so
So
the
you
work
become an all-around resource.
Yes, 100%. And I even use that analogy all the time. I'm like, yo, I'm just a tool. I'm a tool in a toolbox. You know what I mean? Use it.
Right.
That's why I'm here. You know what I mean? And I also found, even from the athletic side, there's so many egos in coaching. Lord have mercy. There's so many egos and people who actually want the attention, want to be out in front. Let me let me show you I'm that background dude.
Right.
It just so happens that my work and the impact is so strong and effective that you can't miss it. And when somebody says, how did you do that? And they say, Coach Shabazz did it. And when enough people hear that, or when the wrong coaches with the big egos hear that enough, they're like, man, he ain't no, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Who do you think he is? I mean, I don't think I'm nobody. You know what I mean? I'm just doing the job. But a lot of times I found that people will get so tired of hearing your name. They will get so tired of hearing it that now animosity done built within them.
Right.
For people you don't even know.
I don't even know you.
Like, we've never,
We
ever
ain't met. We ain't talked.
We ain't kicked it.
We ain't Facebook
I don't know you at all.
Right.
Matter of fact, I go out of I don't look at other trainers' pages. Man, listen. And I've learned over about 15, 16 years of doing this, I've seen quite a bit. Kids will come to the facility, man, Coach Shabazz, some trainer was on your page and then DM'd me and say, I know you train with Shabazz, come train with me. I'm like, bro,
That's not how you do it.
come on, dog. Why would you do that?
Cutthroat.
You know what I mean? What? I'm going to say this. I don't care. One of my LBs just this morning said to me, hey, bro, somebody said that, man, you need to come train with me. I know you go to Shabazz, just come train with me. And we all the bros. I'm like, you can't. And you know what? It did. 10 years ago, that would have. What are you doing? What?
Right.
Pull up. You know what I'm saying? Now, after seeing everything I've seen, I'm like, par for the course. It is what it is.
It is what it is.
And either you're going to roll with me or you ain't.
Right.
At this point. So, I know that went kind of all over the place, but
it's great.
an athlete perspective, that was the focus at first, so I thought. But then the adults' perspective, now it's kind of like hand in hand. It's like, would you rather train one or the other? And I'm like, both.
Both.
You know what I mean? Like, I couldn't even find myself saying, I've had to do this a couple times, but all right, I'm not training adults anymore because now all of a sudden the client knows more than me. You know what I mean? Well, I read something that said I lost 3 pounds and now, I need to do it this way. Like,
Whole 3 pounds.
yeah. Come on,
YouTube.
man.
I saw a YouTube. Yeah.
Oh, God. Oh,
Right.
man,
So
okay.
I want to go back
Okay.
to the beginning of your story because I think we kind of glossed over something that was key. You got started. 2, you weren't discouraged by the number of kids that were there. Because when God orchestrates things, He puts you in the right places.
Yep.
He's playing chess.
He's
No
playing chess.
question.
Like,
He's playing
you
chess the whole
didn't
time.
get the position at Life Lifetime Fitness
Right.
because that's not where you were supposed to be.
Right.
And all of those other places, that's not where you were supposed to be. You were supposed to be at the JCC so that all of these other opportunities could open.
Right.
Yep.
But some people would have looked at it the first day and there were 2 kids and said, this not working.
This ain't gonna work.
This is
Yep.
the first day. Like it's the first
It's day one.
day.
Yeah, that's right.
And had you had that attitude, like, or even the second day, okay, 3 kids, it's not working, then all of these amazing things that have happened and these amazing opportunities that you've had, you may not have had them.
That's a fact.
Absolutely.
Even now, like, if I'm sitting in, let's say just for instance, I'm giving a speech somewhere, or if a speaking engagement is set up, and 10 people show up. Like this happened at the University of Memphis, and they set up an event. It was horrible weather, pouring outside, and I think maybe 13 kids showed up. I mean, I don't care. I'm at Memphis. I'm at the University of Memphis speaking,
Right.
and I'm like, if one of y'all heard something, mission accomplished.
Right.
Right.
Because I wasn't even, my attitude was leave the 99 and go after the 1.
There it is.
You know what I mean? And I figured if that's God's attitude, I might as well adapt that same attitude. Because if it worked for the boss, it's going to work for me.
Right.
There you go.
You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I mean, no question. That I had another thing, too. Even now, let's say 2016 to right up to 2020, right when COVID hit. Average class size, smallest class may have been 25 kids.
Okay.
Biggest class, easily 55, 60 kids.
Oh, wow.
In one session.
One session.
And we in there. And we rolling. COVID hits, and now a lot of parents are kind of leery about kids training in big groups. You know what I mean? So the numbers just plummeted. And then a lot of other trainers start sprouting up all over the place and, you know, doing this and doing that and stuff. So numbers went down. And I easily could have said, you know what? This ain't going where it need to go. What I saw, again, was being aligned and put in the right position, being put at the right place at the right time.
Right.
You know what I mean? And opportunities started to open up. Instead of big numbers as far as individual clients, more teams started to call me. More coaches started to call. You know what I mean? Now, instead of everybody coming to me, I would do a little bit more traveling going out. So it just shifted. And one of the biggest things that happened during that time was I did a lot more virtual training.
Okay.
Like FaceTime sessions. Or I would video a workout, send it out, and, you know, I had to close the facility for like 2.5 months. And during that time, I'm like, where is the income going to come from? So even in a parent blessing like this, I'm trying to figure out where is the money going to come from? How am I going to earn income if I can't get to work and nobody's going to come? Something said, do it for free. I'm like, well, God, that don't make no damn sense. Why would I do it for free? I'll make money. So he was like, I said, do it for free.
Right.
So what I did was, every day, I would post a free workout on all of my social media, tell all the kids, check in, let me know that you did it, screenshot that you did it, video it, send me the proof. Tag me in the workout. Then I noticed the following week, I got a cash app from a client. Coach Shabazz, I know you're closed. I know we can't come this month. I wanted to send my fee for the month anyway.
Wow.
Come on.
And then 50 more clients did the exact same thing
my
out of
gosh.
nowhere. And I didn't say a word. I didn't post, hey,
my
look what
gosh.
happened. Out of nowhere. Then,
Dog, it's giving me chills right now. But listen, everyone, because of time constraints, we're going to have to put a pin in it. As a matter of fact, this will be the first episode that's going to have a part 2. So be sure to get back with us next week so you can hear the rest of this story. But here's what I want you to do right now. Go ahead and give the people your contact info because someone may want to reach out right now. Where can they find you?
okay, so the best way to get me is probably my Instagram.
Okay.
It's at Team Shabazz1.
Hey, Elevate fam. Are you a business or brand looking to get in front of an audience that's all about leveling up in life, business, and mindset? Then let's partner up. The Elevate podcast is now accepting sponsors. That means you can get your brand heard by a growing community of go-getters, creatives, and purpose-driven listeners right here on the show. Whether it's a product shout-out, an ad spot, or a custom collaboration, we've got options for you. Want in? Hit us up at elevate@elevatenowtraining.com. Let's elevate together.